Hello and welcome back to Scratch Golf Academy. I'm Anthony Vessecchia. I'm a Titleist Performance Institute certified golf fitness instructor. And today I'm going to give you 3, maybe 4 of my favorite exercises for generating more power during your golf swing. Now, before we begin, please like and subscribe and leave some comments or questions that you may have about anything that we're doing here today, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. So the first exercise that I'm going to do is a trap bar squat or a trap bar deadlift. This bar here is called a trap bar. It's got the handles here. It's in like a hexagon shape. A lot of people prefer to use this over a straight barbell like we have there on the rack. More so because it doesn't put as much of stress on your lumbar spine or your lower back. You're not having to bend over as much. You can stay a little more upright during this movement. But I'll go ahead and show you what this is. I do prefer it to sometimes if I have my lower back's just a little tight, or sometimes I want to go to a little heavy and I haven't been practicing my deadlift. I'll go into this, but it's still going to work the power in your hips similar to what's going to happen with a regular deadlift. So again, you're going to really build some leg drive and some hip power. Why do you want power in your hips? That's going to help with your extension through the target and allow for a little bit more ground force. So we're going to hold it in this position. We're going to have our chest out looking straight ahead, and you'll lift. So we'll do 10 of these. I like to do a warm-up set first. A warm-up set of about 10 to 15. I didn't do them all. And then put more weight on and then give yourself 3 working sets after you finish that warm-up set, at least 3 good working sets. The warm-up is usually about maybe 50% of what your max would be. In this case, that would be about there. I would normally go about 4 plates for sets. So on this one, just start about half of what you would be doing for your sets. Again, this is a trap bar squat or trap bar deadlift. So people like to call them different names. True deadlift is holding a bar and going in front of you with the bar. Squats obviously could be back squats, front squats. There's a million different versions of squats. But again, I'll show you from this angle so you can see. This is a trap bar and this is a trap bar squat or deadlift. 1 warm-up set, 3 working sets. And now for the next exercise, I like to call these hip drives. This is one that I really like to do with, again, we did hip where you can get some power and drive through your hips with the deadlift, with the trap bar deadlift. Now I'm going to use the cables and allow with rotation with that hip drive as well. So I'm going to bring this up to about my knee level, put a good amount of weight on here. For this instance, I'm just putting it on 60. Depending on what your strength level is, you'll go high enough, but you don't want so much that you can't get to a proper extension through your hips. You're gonna take the long, if you look, I have a long handle. The reason I like to use a long handle is so the ball and all the attachment area doesn't snag your shorts or push into your thigh. And you're going to then reach behind you with the arm that is closest to the pole or closest to your anchor point, step away from it, and we're going to stay in golf posture and push through with our hips. I like to tell people to keep their head down on the ground and try not to move it off of a spot where you would pretend that the ball was at. If you want to, you can put a piece of tape down or you can put a ball there as well. And I want you to go through that motion like that because some people will do this and go here with their upper body. Now we're completely defeating the purpose of this drill. We want to get the drive from the hips, not from the upper body. And if you get used to doing that, obviously you'll have a tendency to come over the top if that translates to your swing, so we don't want that. So we're gonna stay down, head straight down at the ball, rotate through, and really drive your hip through to the target. You'll do 10 on one side, flip around. Give me 10 on the other because you don't want to be lopsided. I don't want to hit my microphone there, so I'm not really gonna do a full set here, but then you would flip and turn on this side because I'm hitting the mic. So you would do 10 on each side, on both, and then I would go through 3 sets of those personally. So I really like 3 sets on those. Now the next drill, I'm gonna stay right here on this so you're not having to lose your spot in the gym. And I'm gonna raise it all the way to the top. I call this one cable drives. This one's gonna still lead with your hip to do this motion, but it's gonna be a little bit more power coming from the upper body. So I'm gonna take the handle and I'm gonna pin it to my sternum. I'm gonna try to go right below the mic because I have it taped to me here. And then I'm gonna grab up here, just below the clip, the carabiner. If you don't have a long handle like that, I would pull this out and then grab just on the other side of that ball. And then when you release, make sure you move your hand so you don't pinch anything in the pulley system. But hopefully you have a nice long handle that you can use. Some people like to use a rope. You can take a rope. I don't know if this one pulls all the way through. It does not. Sometimes they have rubber in there. But if you have a rope that'll pull all the way through and you can put this at this end of the rope, you can use the rope in place of it, pin this here, and hold at the end of the rope. And you can do the rope with the same motion. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this here to my chest, and I'm going to push right down to my knee. Again, on this one, I'm going to still be placed right in front where that ball would be, or that piece of tape, or whatever mark I have on the floor in front of me, and I'm not going to move my head off of it. Because if I do, again, I could end up using so much upper body that my hips are still all the way back in this position when I finish. And if you did that in golf, you'd end up like that, and that's obviously not generating any power from your lower body again. All the while I'm doing these exercises, I want to pretend there's an imaginary line going straight up and down my rear end, and I'm going to stay against that the entire time. So again, I'm going to drive down to my knee, back up, down to my knee. If you need to see it from a different angle, it's going to be just like this. And I'm trying to keep my head right in place, okay? So I will do 10 on that side, flip around, give myself 10 on the other side. And I would also do 3 sets of those. Again, I think I have 60 here. A lot of beginners maybe start in the 30 range. Some women may start in the 20 range. It also depends on your strength and your ability. I mean, obviously you'll feel it and you'll know that you can go up, but make sure that the form is good and you really are keeping your head centered. That's really important to this drill, because if you got too much upper body action happening, you're really gonna start to mess with your swing, and hopefully we don't want that part, if you're doing that, to transfer over to your golf swing. So if you have a mirror or you're really worried about it, you can place a mirror in front of you too, and you can do it watching the mirror. I would also put a piece of tape on the mirror to make sure that your head stays on the tape while you're doing the drill, so it doesn't move off of that tape. I like to do that too when I'm just doing mirror work with a club. Put a piece of tape on the mirror where my head is. It's like drawing lines on a camera as well, or on a slow motion video replay. If you can put tape on a mirror in front of you, you can start to work on your positions during certain parts of the swing. So I do the same thing sometimes with some of my fitness exercises. So I hope those 3 drills help. Again, these are ones that I like to use for power. With some of them, you may have seen these before, but I wanted to add them in today because that would actually be a routine that I would take somebody through. I'd start with more of a press where it's heavy and kind of hard, and then finish with some rotational stuff to still work on that power through their hips and helping with extension and leg drive. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Take care.